Okay, let me ask you something. Have you ever looked at your bank account, seen a good chunk of cash sitting there, and instead of feeling secure, you just felt, well, kind of stressed? It's a really common feeling, having the money, but not having a clear plan for it. So today, let's get into it. We're going to break down that exact feeling and talk about a surprisingly simple way to fix it for good.
This quote right here, it just nails it, doesn't it? It perfectly captures that strange anxiety. I mean, you've got cash, so on paper, everything looks great. You should feel safe. But without a clear job, that same pile of money can make you feel exposed, maybe a little hesitant. It's a paradox that so many of us are living with every single day.
So, what is actually going on here? Well, this feeling comes from something called unplaced cash. Basically, it's money that doesn't have a specific job assigned to it. And here's the thing, that unplaced cash isn't just sitting there quietly. Oh no, it's actively pulling on our behavior, and usually in ways that work against our best interests.
And just look at the kind of damage this can do. When your cash doesn't have a job, it becomes super tempting to just spend it. It creates this constant confusion, right? You're always asking, can I really afford this? It feels stressful, it makes you hesitate on big decisions, and yeah, it can even lead to overspending because there are just no clear boundaries. It's basically a recipe for financial anxiety.
Now, if you've ever felt any of this, your first instinct is probably to blame yourself. You think, ugh, I'm just bad with money. But here's where we need to totally reframe the problem. This isn't about you being bad at something. It's not a personal failing. It's a structural one. It's an organization problem. And you know what that means? It's solvable.
Seriously, let that sink in for a second. All of that stress, that back and forth, that feeling of being both rich and unsafe at the same time, it is not some fundamental flaw with you or how you think about money.
And that's the diagnosis, right there. The solution isn't just about trying to save more cash, it's about placing the cash you already have into very specific, clearly defined roles. It's about building a better, smarter architecture for your money.
So, how do we actually build this new structure? Well, the whole idea is to stop thinking about your cash as one big, vague pile. Instead, we're going to divide it into two very distinct, very separate pools of money. And each of these pools has a very specific job. And trust me, this simple little division, it changes absolutely everything.
Okay, first up, we have emergency cash. You probably know this as your rainy day fund. Its one job, its only job, is to handle major unexpected life interruptions. We're talking job loss, a medical crisis, a sudden car repair, the big stuff. This is your break glass in case of emergency money. You protect it, you keep it safe, and you touch it very, very rarely.
Now, the second pool is what we call usable cash, and this is completely different. Its job is operation. This is the money that supports your actual day-to-day life. It's for your regular spending, for smoothing out those lumpy, inconsistent expenses, and for giving you the flexibility to live your life without constant financial stress.
And this breakdown makes the difference so clear, doesn't it? Emergency cash is for interruption. Usable cash is for operation. One is protected and touched rarely, kind of like a fire extinguisher in your house. The other is meant to be seen and used all the time, like the food in your pantry. You need both, but you would never confuse their jobs.
And here is the crucial point. All those problems we talked about at the beginning, they happen when these two very different pools of money get mixed together. See, if your emergency money starts to feel usable, it just slowly gets chipped away on non-emergencies. And if your usable money feels like it's part of your emergency fund, you freeze up and you're afraid to spend it on the very things it was meant for.
By creating this clean separation, you unlock something incredibly powerful. And it's not really about the money, it's psychological. It gives you permission. You get to shift your entire mindset from a state of constant financial friction to one of confident, easy flow.
This right here is the magic principle. When you place your money in the right spot, giving every dollar a home and a job description, you give yourself permission to use it correctly. You can actually spend your usable cash without feeling guilty because you know your emergency cash is safe, sound, and doing its own very important job. And think about the real-world benefits here. You can finally stop compulsively checking your bank balance 10 times a day. You can stop doing that frantic mental math in your head before buying a coffee. And you can stop turning normal, everyday choices, like whether to go out to dinner, into these huge, stressful decisions about your entire financial future.
For me, this quote is the big aha moment in all of this. We tend to think all of our cash is supposed to protect us from some huge catastrophe, but that's only the job of your emergency fund. The job of your usable cash is actually to protect you from something much more common, everyday friction.
So what is that friction? It's just reality. It's life. You know, life doesn't line up neatly on a spreadsheet. It's when your car insurance is due the same month you have to buy a plane ticket for a wedding. Usable cash is simply the tool that smooths out all those bumps in the road, handling the timing mismatches that are just a normal part of being alive.
Okay, I can almost hear the gears turning in your head right now. You're on board with this idea of two separate cash pools. You get the why. So naturally, your brain is already jumping ahead to the next very practical question.
Exactly. How much money should actually be in each of these buckets? It's the big one, isn't it? And figuring out that number is so important because getting it right doesn't just support your finances, it literally supports your entire nervous system. And that, well, that is a fantastic question to leave us with for next time.